What is up, you interesting human beings? Hydro Turtle here. Today I'm going to give you the most in-depth Harley Quinn guide out there, and if it's more in-depth than this video, it's not. This video is the most in-depth. So let's start it out with light attacks. So first, Harley Quinn's neutral, basic, light, whatever you want to call it, is this hammer. Now this hammer is a bit buggy. Sometimes you'll think you should be hitting the enemy and then not. I can't really get it, but sometimes, especially online, it's really wonky. But here's how. So it's a charge up move, but you really never want to be using this charge up right in front of an enemy because it does 10 damage, which is the same amount of damage as your base combo. So here's what I recommend you do. Never use it. I mean, you can use it to start something, I guess, but it's never really going to be that helpful as just a move. It should be used in tandem with something else. So if you see your enemy is open, you can charge it in the air and sort of fall towards them with it. This isn't always good, but it's something that you can use to kind of rely on as kind of a backup kind of move. To just, if you can see the opportunity to use it, you use it. It's also great for ending combos, like, okay, if we do the basic combo here, and then you could go straight into that hammer. And you don't usually charge it there, because by time they've dodged out or something, but just, you know, right into it. It even hits if they're behind them most of the time. Next is her actual combo. It's great because it's used in a lot of her usual combos. You can combo just about anything into this, and I'll get this a bit more in depth when I go over the combos, but just you'll be using your forward light a lot. Next, her down light is this slide. I don't use it that much, but it can be used to combo out of things. And if you hit the button again, hold on, let me get this. If you hit the button again after, it will do that little kick there. It does 9 damage, so it's not a good standalone move, but you can set it up into things. I missed it there, of course, but you could set it up into things. It's pretty good. Next, her up is this little bat twirl here. It hits twice if you fully charge it. I wouldn't say it can be okay for starting combos, like if you want to start air combos. So if you want to do something like this and, you know, continue comboing into that or whatever, that will sometimes work, but I don't know, I don't use it all that often. It's one of Harley Quinn's, you know, less good, less used moves by me personally. Next, we have her air moves, her air lights. First, her air light neutral is the same thing, the hammer in the air. Like I said earlier, you could use it as an approaching tool, especially if you get enemies in the back, because in the air, it hits behind you and in front of you. So it hits in front of you, then behind you, so take advantage of that, like I said earlier. Then her air forward light is again a move you'll be using a lot, but you could use it to go into some of your most basic combos. And also it's effective at carrying opponents off stage or just kind of moving around. So if we're off here and we do that double jump, or we could use this, because if you do it right, you can move a lot in the air with it. Although, you know, like a stalling thing. Next, we have her air down, which is gonna be one of your most used moves by far. Especially with the perk I have on right now, which is glove control. I'll tell you about, I'll tell you about those later. Even when it's just this, like you shoot it just down, it is still really good. It's less good, but you can certainly do things into it. And it can even combo into itself if you actually, you know, hit it. And also it bounces, so like you could do something where you like aim it, or it bounces off stages too. So if we put this on a thing with stages, so it will bounce off of those too, so you can get some. So like, I don't think it does not go through stages, it will bounce off of them, but yeah, you can aim it so that it bounces off things, even if it's just that normal one. Let's go back to the training room. So next we have her up, which is this quick gunshot upwards. It's a decent move. Like if your enemy's in the air, you could keep them there because it does so let's say here we hit him with this again, we can kind of keep him there. It also does ignite since it counts as a projectile. So you could it's kind of hard to hit the hitbox, I find. So although you could kind of juggle with it, it's harder to hit because it's very, like, it literally is only the gunshot, not even the confetti. And you can hit someone on the ground with it, but that's kind of hard to hit, although it does do decent damage. Next, we have Harley's specials. So Harley's specials you won't be using as much, but still help out in her basic combos. So first, her neutral special is going to be this bat bomb. So this bat bomb has a timer that you can see, which will blow up enemies. It will start the ignite buff, and it will launch them slightly upwards. It only does 2 damage. It will blow up by itself when attached to enemies, or you can manually do it by pressing triangle or L2 again. I'm on PlayStation. This is you're not gonna have this move that much because it's gonna be on cooldown, but if you want to be able to get enemies, oh my god, how many times do I need to spike you, Shaggy? Either way, if you want to be able to just kind of add an extra hit on your combo, so let's say your enemy is far away and they're trying to get to you, so hit you with this, hit you far away, they're trying to get back, they're trying to get back, and you could hit them with this, hit them with another combo, or you could use it, I've seen some people do it, where if the enemy is over here, I can't really show you this because there's no way to position enemies in the training area, but if you have it here, you could throw it down to enemies, or like throw it like towards them. So let's say your enemy is like right here trying to get back on, right? So they're like right here trying to get back on stage. You can use this, throw it on them, and then spike them downward, or just kind of stop them from getting back on stage. And if that's the last of their air options, that can, you know, that could be a kill right there. Next, we have Harley's down special, which is going to be this little box right here. This thing is good for setting up to if you know you're going to combo someone into it. So I put this down here, and I go over here, and I hit this guy into it, bam, and then he gets hit up. So it's decent setup. You can place it pretty much wherever you want, including the air. I should probably save that for the air part, but you know, whatever. And it's good because you could establish, like, if we put this right next to Shaggy, right now he doesn't want to come get me because I'm behind this. He could always jump over it and risk him getting hit by it or whatever. So it's decent to create corner control because, you know, Shaggy's gonna be like, I don't want to go near that thing while you're hitting him towards it. Although it can kind of disrupt your combos, it can add on to them too. Also, by the way, if you press jump on it, it will reset your jump. So let's say you placed it, there we go, you placed it right there, and let's say for some reason, Or okay, here's a better example. You placed it right here for some reason, and then you're in the blast zone about to die, and then bam, you could reset your jumps and get back all the way to the stage. Next, Harley's side special is going to be this punching bag, which is good for ending combos. It's kind of disjointed, so you won't immediately go into it if you're comboing into it, but the punching bag will actually go the opposite of the way. So Harley will move the way you put the input in, but the punching bag will move the other way, which is kind of hard to get used to, but you will eventually get used to comboing into it. And then her up is one of her best moves, which is the move you'll often see people killing you with if you're facing Harley Quinns, which is the upward bat. So you could be hitting someone with any combo, and then they'll try to kill you with, with this move right here. Especially because the double hit is insane. I don't know what it is about it, but this move, it just always works for killing people. It just, even at like lower percents, you could see people getting, you could even do that, but you can do that where you throw your thing upwards. I just hit him with it right there. You throw your thing upwards and then you hit them into it. Okay, now for her air specials. Her air down is the same thing I showed you earlier. It's a box, nothing different about it. Her air side is the same thing. This time, it's actually really good for getting back onto the stage, especially because there's the boost. You basically get two boosts. So you get the boost from the actual jump, or whatever you want to call that, and then the gun shooting. So you can get pretty far. Here, look, if I'm over here, I could pretty much just get across the screen with just that move. Next, her air up is the exact same. They really weren't very creative with the differences with Harley's moves in the in the air, on the ground, but they're all exactly the same, including the neutral special. It's just a bat bomb, but this time you equip it in the air. You can throw it in the air as well. That's how you would be, killing someone who's off the map right here. Yeah, so that is Harley specials. Okay, signature perks. So, Harley has 3 signature perks. Her first one is smooth moves. Harley's ground and air side specials also become dodges, giving her brief invulnerability at the beginning of the attack. This is definitely the one I almost never use. You'll never see me use this because it's just not that good. The dodge, you could have just actually dodged, and because that move isn't really often just used by itself, and even if you're just using it by itself, it's probably to end a combo or to get back on the stage. Most times you really won't need a dodge. It's slightly better in 2v2s, but if you're playing Harley in 2v2s, which I don't recommend, that's another problem. So next, my personal favorite, I think, in my personal opinion, is Harley's best perk, which is glove control, allowing her to aim her boxing glove. Great combo starter, great combo ender, great combo anything. It can even combo into itself. You're gonna be using this in 1v1s. Please just use the glove control. It is so good in so many different ways, and it can even help with some of the perks that I'm gonna show you in just a second. Now, confetti explosion is okay. It's not really the best. It's better in 2v2s. It's okay in 1v1s. If you're running the perk loadout I am, glove control is just way better for it. But if you're not running a that's flammable dock based thing, you can use this because sometimes it can give you kills. But it just feels slightly unnecessary because Harley has a lot of other moves that do explode enemies. So it's okay. Next, actual perks. So this is my current 1v1 perk setup, which is Make It Rain Dog, which makes your throwing like your bomb throwing, so you can hit people way easier because it is very slow on its own. And you have stuff like your glove, your down glove, you know, the down gun that starts combos, and also your ender, which is your side special, makes these faster. It's very useful, and if you don't need your teammate to run it, it's just good by itself in 1v1s. Use this on Harley. Next we have snowball effect. You use this in pretty much all your characters for 1v1s, at least I do. It makes the most sense. 7% increased damage in general for everything is really good. Enough said. And then that's flammable dock is going to be your main thing, because hitting an enemy with a projectile can melee them to ignite them for 1 second. So Harley Quinn is, besides Superman, basically the person who focuses most on ignitions. So, like, moves like this will ignite them. See, the fire here is the ignite timer. So, let's see here. So, if you hit them with the bat bomb, they'll be ignited. So, the 1 out of 5 is the actual ignited, and then that's flammable dock is the thing that runs out. So, if I hit them with this, then I hit them with a melee attack, they get ignited. And then, if you put this down and hit them into that, then they'll get ignited. So you have multiple igniting starters that you could use to kind of get the ignite buff going, which is going to do some good passive damage for you. So if you hit someone with anything, it will ignite them, and then you hit them with a melee, and bam, they're ignited. Now if you hit them with an igniting attack like this or this, and then you hit them with literally anything, now you can just get that ignite off right away. And that's just going to be super helpful, because you could proc it for one of your you're going to be using the bat bomb, since it has pretty fast recharge time in a lot of things. And if you use it at the beginning of your combo, you're going to be igniting people basically every combo if you're using it every combo. And as you could see there, I killed Shaggy, one of the decently heavier fighters, with that up special because he was ignited and because I comboed into that there. So that's why I use those perks, although Harley does have some other perks that you can run. So if you're not going for an ignite setup per se, I would say definitely put on CoffeeZilla. You're basically going to have your abilities back pretty much instantly, which is always great. Retaliation Ready can be somewhat helpful because you're using a decent amount of projectiles, which, would go along with, that's flammable dock and make it rain dog, so you can work something out with that. Triple jump is great on Harley, like it is on every other character. You really don't need any speed increases, so speed, force assist, and aerial acrobat aren't really necessary because Harley is a very fast character. Nothing much for this. Obviously, you can run School Me Once if you want to, if you're facing a Tom and Jerry or whatever. That can be subbed out for whatever you want. And also, I'll take that. Definitely possible to use because debuffed enemies, that's flammable dock. They work in perfect correlation with each other, but because I don't use it is because Harley Quinn's cooldowns are very fast, so you really won't be needing a cooldown that much. And Deadshot, it's possible, not really something I would use out of all the standouts over here, since you're getting 5% more damage from projectiles when you could just get 7 more damage for everything, including projectiles. Sure Cannon Sniper, definitely stay away from this. You want to be up close with Harley, as she's a very aggressive character. Now, it's time for some team perks. So, I don't usually like using team perks because Harley Quinn isn't the best in duos. But, do whatever you want. So, definitely be running triple jump now, because triple jump is really good in duos because now you just get 3 jumps permanently, which is always great. Last Stand, I'm gonna recommend it somewhat, and here's why. Harley is the second lightest character in the game. She dies very quickly, so if you're even up to 100, you're gonna really like that extra damage, but it's situational for sure. CoffeeZilla, again, same reason as before. Don't use Tasmanian trigonometry because she dies instantly. It's really hard to get her back. So you can use it, but I really would not recommend it. Same thing with School Me Once. Now it's slightly better. Something like, I don't know, back to back could be possible here because you have a teammate and Harley Quinn takes loads of damage, so you're gonna want that sometimes. You're never gonna need That's Not All, folks, because Harley is almost always gonna get back onto the map with literally any of her stuff, especially that side special. And everything else is just okay. Hit them while they're down can be very useful because, you know, debuffed enemies got that ignition. I might even put that on instead of snowball effect or something like that. So that could be possible to use, especially if your teammate's running it and you're just racking up the damage against the enemies. That is also possible. Again, don't recommend playing 2v2s with Harley, but they're your 2v2 perks if you do choose to play 2v2s. Now let's get into kind of like the strategy on how to play Harley. So Harley is a extremely aggressive character. Very aggressive, just like the other assassins. She also dies insanely quickly. You'll be dying at like 60 and 70 if you're unlucky, or if they have an absurdly powerful or charged move. Even with Tasmanian trigonometry and godlike recovery, you're going to be dying a lot before and around 100. So you're really going to want to avoid damage as much as possible by staying in the air, doing your air dodges, doing your air movement. Because you have an extreme amount of air movement, you know, with this move right here, your side special, and even, you know, your up basic, what is this called? Your up light. This will move you like this, you know, you can get back on stage with that. You could just use whatever you need to be mobile in the air and be avoiding your enemies and coming in for some nice combos. Harley is a very evasive character, very aggressive character, like I just said. So you're really never going to be wanting to be just in the opponent's face. You're going to be wanting to be, you know, coming in on the opponent's face. You're just going to be wanting to be agile, but also being able to not be, you know, across the map all the time. You're not, you know, you're trying to kill them. You're not trying to range them out while your teammate does all the work, because you don't have a teammate. Because Harley is basically, again, I say this for the 17th time, mainly play Harley in 1v1s. 2v2's Harley is just not what she is in 1v1. Lots of her tricks don't work as well. Now it's time for the part of the video you probably skipped right to. Combos. Harley Quinn is built around some pretty basic combos that you can get to learn that are putting a bunch of different things together to make a beautiful orchestra. So her first thing that you need to learn is her 3-piece forward combo. You're going to be using that a lot. And especially it has a follow-up if you press square again, or, you know, whatever your button is. She'll upswing and then she'll look up. You don't have to do the look up. You can just keep moving out of it or whatever. But you're going to be using this a lot for things, and it does decent damage. So you're going to be comboing into that. Next, her side special. It also has a follow-up. If you hit it again, it has 2 kicks. So you could go straight into it like this. So you could put those two together. You could do something like this, where you just go into this combo and you're just unrelentingly doing the same combo. And since, you know, you're switching up your moves constantly, the opponent won't be any wiser, because you're just coming in there with this and then going straight into that. Sometimes you will, like I just did, go through the enemy, since it does move you forward a lot. And then if you do this in the air and do the third hit, which is harder to do because you have to be sort of at range, you can do that. Some combo enders you could use for any combo is definitely the hammer, especially out of this. that always combo ends, and it does do slightly more damage than the normal ending. And then, you know, you could do this into your hammer, into your next combo starter, which is your glove control glove. Please be using glove control, guys. This can be used in so many ways to start combos. It's insane. Just please be using this. You can even go from this into your other combo. Please use this. It's underused. I don't see really a lot of Harleys, at least in my lobby. Maybe I'm just really bad. Editing me put up my rank 2 million as a Superman in 2v2s. Either way, use this more. Especially on the ground, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Even mid combo, you can kind of use it, although it's harder to switch from doing your normal stuff into that. Next combo ender you're going to want to be looking out for is this. Again, it's going to take some time getting used to how that works, but it's also especially faster, you know, with Make It Rain Dog, and it's useful to end combos. Like with this, you could do something like that and then go out of it. If you want to do something like short, or if you see, I don't know, an enemy coming up because you're playing 2v2s for some reason, you could just get out of there, hit him with that. It's a especially good killing move too. I can't show this because you can't position, but if there's an enemy right there, I didn't do it the right way, but if there is an enemy over there, you can kill them from the side with this, because it has like kind of the same properties as your glove. Also, it does get that ignite bonus from that's flammable dock, so that's interesting. And then you could kind of put this all together to go into some crazy combos. Of course, I messed it up there by accidentally doing my hammer, but you could put this together for some crazy combos. Right there, I just got 35% because Harley doesn't really do that much damage, but since you'll basically always be comboing, you're going to be doing lots of damage fast because you're doing less damage more often. Next, comboing with her specials. But you could get so much more damage. So if you put like this here, and then you start off with this, and then you start, you know, hitting your combos with this. I missed it there, but you're basically doing 65%. I just did without even hitting that thing. So you know, get this here. And oh, I forgot to completely mention this, so I might as well mention this now. If you have this and then you throw it down with down special, it will stick to yourself and it won't do damage to you, but it will do damage to enemies. You can also do stuff like putting it right next to them and force feeding them into it, and then having the bomb either blow up on its own or blowing them up on purpose because they'll be ignited and they'll be taking constant damage from you. You could just pretty much just do your normal combos and then just have it there to follow up and proceed to continue your combos for you. So yeah, you could do that. Another thing you can do is, like I said earlier, hit them with it and then like get them off the map, and then they could often at very high percents just be straight up killed by this. So you know, you can range them out and just kill them outright. Or if you get them off the map, you could stop them from getting back up and, you know, continue to combo them or whatever you need to do there. Final thing, you can combo many of Harley's moves into each other. Like I said earlier, you can combo this move right here into itself. So be doing that. Even if you miss it the first time, do it again, because you're going to be wanting to use that more often. Last thing about combos, Harley has 0 armor on any of her moves, and she doesn't have armor breaking either. So that's why I said you have to be agile, and you really can't be, you know, rushing down people, but you can't not be. It's kind of that sweet spot in between. Harley isn't going to be one to, you know, break Superman and destroy everyone, but she's going to be getting some good combos off and, you know, killing relatively easy if you can get everything that you need to do done, especially if you're adding the bat bomb and the box in. Like that, see? That almost just killed outright. And then with the up special, you're getting easy kills, easy hit ups, really good there. Next is just some basic stuff like her movement. Just giving you some tips on how to do things. So, of course, you have yourself a dodge jump. Harley's dodge jump isn't really that good because her forward is this. So, even if you're doing this, you're not getting any height out of that. So, Harley's dodge jump is not the best. I don't know, I could be wrong here. I don't know, maybe she's like Superman where you could freaking spam it or something. But I don't see Harley having a good dodge jump because it just doesn't go anywhere. It's not as good as just, like, look, regular jump, dodge jump. It's basically the same, just slightly faster with the dodge jump. So, not as good there, which is, surprising considering Harley can get around fairly quickly, like I said earlier. Not to mention, again, if you're playing the Forsaken 2v2s, you can use your, the fact that you're using your abilities as movement to kind of hit someone who may be passing by inadvertently. Because basically all of Harley's moves allow her to move some way. Because you're always just going to want to be moving. You can use your dodges. You can use your your side specials. You can use your up basics, whatever this is called. Up lights, my bad. You could just use that whenever you need to quickly move across the map. Quickly outrange your enemies, because even Velmas and bugs are gonna have trouble hitting you if you don't even know where you are. Now, our final thing is I'm gonna be going over Harley's strengths and weaknesses. So her big strengths are definitely her movement, like I was saying earlier. You're going to be able to get around the stage extremely quickly all the time by using Harley. Her next strength is her insane combos. You're going to be always in a combo with Harley, basically. But you're always going to be in a combo. You're always going to be doing something to do against the enemy. And unless they're hitting you with one of her weaknesses, which is super armored attacks or just generally disjointed hitboxes, but everyone's weak to those. Finn, he's kind of a B word. Did I just not swear for once in my videos? That's pretty shitty. So, Finn is a weakness to everyone, especially Harley. She doesn't function well against Finns. She just gets outranged by his absurd disjointed hitboxes, because most of her moves are either with her bat or hammer, but some of her better, like her combo starters, like this one, are going to be with her body, the kicks. And this gun isn't disjointed, I don't believe. But this one is, I think. So, that's good. Harley has some disjointed hitboxes. Most of her moves are actually disjointed hitboxes. But she doesn't fare well against other people with disjointed hitboxes. And like I mentioned earlier, super armor, or whatever it's called, doesn't do well again. She has 0 moves that break armor. I know that might be hard to see because my color is purple, but none of her moves break armor. Yeah, none of her moves break armor, so it's going to be hard for you to be able to fight people with armor, but I guess aerial attacks, another one of her specialties, because of that insane glove control. Like this, bro, oh my god, it's freaking, I'm in love with it, bro. It's one of Harley's best moves, if not her best move, because it is just so useful for everything. When are you not in a situation where you can use this? Long range, bounce it off something. Look how far it goes. even if we get all the way up here, right? It goes all the way down. I mean, it won't bounce off anything, but you will be able to hit people still. And you could also use it for recovery, since it stalls you in the air for a while. Again, another thing, you could be, moving throughout the air, being able to damage the enemy while you're elusive and floaty to hit. So those are her strengths and weaknesses. She doesn't have a lot of strengths and a lot of weaknesses. She's very balanced, I would say. Ish balanced. She's not as good at 2v2s, as I've said about 14 fucking times. Bleep that out. About 14 times. She is just so good. Please play Harley. She's so fun, and if you don't end up liking her, at least you learned how to play a new character. That's gonna be all for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This has probably been my longest video that wasn't a live stream, and I put a lot of time into this video, so if you could please subscribe, I would appreciate it a lot. I like it when you subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm pretty small. And that's gonna be all for today's video. Hydro Turtle out. Please subscribe.